So far we have talked about graphing quadratics in standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and vertex form, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Today we're going to talk about intercept form, which is also called vectored form. They're the same thing. So this equation looks like this. We still have the A, which remember A tells us if it is going to open up or down. If A is positive, it's going to open up. A is negative, it's going to open down. So I have A times x minus P times x minus Q. And you remember from last unit, if we had something like x squared plus 3x plus 2, we could simplify that, we could factor that into something like this. So we could go from standard form to this factored idea. That's basically what's happening. They're taking the standard form and they are factoring it so that it looks like this. So you could distribute this through and come up with an answer in standard form. But we're going to talk about how to actually find the necessary information from factored form. So A times x minus P times x minus Q tells you your x-intercepts. You're going to change your sign, just like you did in vertex form, of whatever is in for P and whatever is in for Q. And you're going to plot those points at P0 and Q0, and those are your x-intercepts. Your axis of symmetry is always in the middle of your x-intercepts. It's right in the middle of them. So we're going to find the average between our x-intercept values, and that's going to tell us our axis of symmetry. So P plus Q over 2, we're going to take that P value, take that Q value, add them together, and then divide by 2. And then just like we did in standard form, once you have this x value, you're going to plug it in to get your y value to the equation and solve. So here's how this works. I have the equation f of x equals x plus 2 times x minus 4. And f of x is just something called function notation. It's the same thing as y equals x plus 2 times x minus 4. So I've got y equals x plus 2 and x minus 4. The first step is to find my x-intercepts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these values, I'm going to change their signs. This is going to become negative 2 because it was positive. And I was going to put a 0 after it because your x-intercepts always have a 0 second. I'm going to change my sign of this one, positive 4, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and graph those right away. Negative 2, 0, positive 4, 0. On my axis of symmetry, I'm going to take my x-intercepts. I'm going to take negative 2 plus 4, and I'm going to divide that by 2. So I'm going to have negative 2 plus 4, that's positive 2 over 2, which is 1. So somewhere along the line x equals 1, my vertex lies. And I'm simply going to take this 1 and I'm going to plug it in all the way up at the top. So I've got y equals 1 plus 2 times 1 minus 4. So we're going to do our parentheses here. So this is 3 times negative 3. 3 times negative 3, negative 9. So my vertex is at the point 1, negative 9, which will go down here. And I like to have 5 points in my parabola. So I'm going to pick 1 point, doesn't matter which one, I'm plugging it in. I'm going to plug in I'm going to plug in 0, I think. That's just one to the left. Plug in one to the right also. So I've got 0, so I'm going to have 0 plus 2 times 0 minus 4. That is 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. Remember that reflects. Now I have 5 points. I kind of like having 5 points. I feel like I can make a more accurate parabola from that. So now I have my graph in intercept or factored form. Let's try a couple more examples. All right, this is the same idea, except for like this negative in the front, which we know that means A is negative 1. So everything else is the same besides that. So my x-intercepts, remember you're going to change your sign. It's going to become a positive 2 and a negative 4. I guess these are different, so let's switch. So negative 4, 0. Positive 2, 0. Points here. My axis of symmetry, I'm going to take 2 plus negative 4 and divide that by 2. These x values. 2 plus negative 4, that's negative 2. Negative 2 over 2, negative 1. You could also just sort of figure out where the middle is. The axis of symmetry is somewhere on that line. And then I'm going to plug in negative times negative 1 minus 2 times negative 1 plus 4. This becomes negative 3 times positive 3. These two negatives become positive 3. Good thing this is a positive 9. Negative 1, positive 9. And then I like to do one more point to really make sure I can accurately graph my parabola. So I'm going to plug in 0. So negative 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 4. This is a positive 2 times a positive, times a positive 2 times positive 4, which is 8. So I have here, and then I can flip that across the other side. And then I've got my parabola. So this is sort of combining standard form and vertex form. We take the idea of intercepts from vertex form, the idea of the vertex from standard form. All right. Here we go. First step, find our x-intercepts. We're going to change those x values. It's going to become negative 3, 0, and positive 1, 0. Negative 3, 1. Take those values, add them, divide by 2. That gives me negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. Somewhere along the axis of symmetry, x equals negative 1, my vertex occurs. So I'm going to take this negative 1, I'm going to plug it in for x. So I've got y equals 2 times negative 1 plus 3 times negative 1 minus 1. That's going to give me y equals 2 times negative 2, which this is 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. So my vertex is negative 1, negative 8. Now let's plug in one more point so that I have 5 points at the end. So that helps my parabola be more accurate. Take 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 minus 1. That's 2 times 3 times negative 1, which is 6 times negative 1, which is negative 6. So at 0, I have negative 6. So I have something like this. Yours should look a little better than mine because your board is calibrated. This should really be right here, but it doesn't want to go. There we go. So this one I want you to try yourself. I'm going to put the answers up, but I'm not going to talk through it. So I want you to hit pause right now, try it, and then you hit play once you're done and see if you got the answers that I got. It's okay to get a decimal on occasion. Here's what I'm getting as an answer. You got the rest of time to work on homework.